all losing their minds. Rachel Maddow is pissed after Joe Scarborough stabbed them in the back by bending the knee to Trump and MAGA.
In this video, Tim Pool talks about the ongoing civil war at MSNBC. Tim Pool reacts to the fact that animosity from other MSNBC hosts is building towards Rachel Maddow because of her well-deserved money she makes. With that, let's watch Tim Pool kick failing MSNBC while they're down, just like their ratings.
Civil war. But this time inside MSNBC, a dying cable news network, which is probably going to be sold off, and they're all losing their minds. Rachel Maddow is pissed after Joe Scarborough stabbed them in the back by bending the knee to Trump and MAGA. There's no winning. There's no winning. You can try in your fear and panic to please Donald Trump and beg for forgiveness, but then Rachel Maddow comes for ya. The drama's fun, and this is all part of the decay and the destruction of a media that lost its mind. And it's a sad story, I must admit. MSNBC wasn't always psychobabble, but Donald Trump really broke the minds of many of these people. They did not know how to respond to this. I remember when Donald Trump lost in 2020, you had this female journalist was like, you don't understand the relief. Every day being woken up at 3 a.m. by my boss being like, Trump tweeted again, time to write it up. And these people were obsessed. They were deranged. They are still. But I got to be honest, like, you're asleep at 3 a.m. and Trump tweets, so your boss is like, quick, write it up. People must know that Trump tweeted. It's derangement. It's not just about the fact that they hated Trump or wanted to hate Trump or they thought it would make them a lot of money. It was an obsession with the guy. They couldn't talk about anything else. Well, my friends, now they're ripping each other to shreds. To shreds, I say. But there's more news here as Rachel Maddow loses her mind and gets $25 million for doing 1 day of work a week, so they say. Keith Olbermann is roasting her. Wow. It's a classic liberal media meltdown as all of these psychos who sold their souls are now ripping each other to shreds, I say. It's not just Maddow going after Scarborough, it's Olbermann going after Maddow. He says she lost her principles for a $25 million salary. That is wild to me, that she makes that much money. Yikes.
I'll tell you what, I dislike Rachel Maddow. I really dislike Joe Scarborough, but someone I rarely cover is Keith Olbermann. He is very high on my list as one of the most objectionable people in the world. I remember him back in his Sports Center days. Couldn't have seemed like a nicer guy. The second Trump came into our lives, you know, Tim Pool's saying that Donald Trump broke these people and they don't know how to deal with them. That's when a lot of these people went nuts. Don't get me wrong, they were left-wingers before, but Donald Trump just exposed their insanity. I mean, Keith Olbermann is perpetually broken. He's full of anger and hate. Like, I actually think a lot of Democrat leadership and high-profile folks are. Again, anytime I talk about the Democrats negatively, I'm not talking about the voters because I think a lot of them have been duped. And truly, I don't have anything against 99.9% of them. You know, some of them are out there and they're just as insane as these people. But anyway, Trump broke these folks. Now, if I have to put myself in a very odd headspace to get here, but if I try to put myself in the head of a crazy wacko liberal, if I were Rachel Maddow, I'd probably be pretty annoyed at Joe Scarborough bending the knee as well. I mean, they were on the same team that Trump is Hitler and he's the worst thing in the history of anything. And the flat out lies that Rachel Maddow tells, which I didn't see as much of Rachel Maddow, even though, I mean, anytime she talks about Trump, you can assume it's a lie, but I saw a lot of Joe Scarborough because Rachel Maddow's only on once a week. So I heard a lot of Joe Scarborough prior to the election. I mean, he literally took any speculative story that was completely unverifiable or objectively untrue, and he ran with it to the very end. We're talking zero journalistic integrity. He even suggested that people shouldn't be objective with Trump because he's such a unique threat. And then he goes and kisses his ass. So if I were Rachel Maddow and I was a wacky leftist, I'd think he bent the knee too. Now, they're going to Keith Olbermann here, and I guess he's saying that Rachel Maddow sold her soul for $25 million a year. I don't really know where he's going with this. We'll see if Tim gets into it here. Let's get back to the video.
Well, here's a story from the Sun.com. Rachel Maddow says that Joe Scarborough stabbed them in the back. Wow. She's angry, she says, and there's a bunch of photos we can look at. According to a CNN report, the pair decided to contact Trump out of fear of retribution. It said the hosts were credibly concerned. I love how they say credibly. They add that word. It's a weasel word. It makes no difference to the sentence. About possible governmental and legal harassment from the new Trump administration. Yet Scarborough and Brzezinski's decision to meet with Trump in Florida has angered many of the network, including Rachel Maddow. A journalist at MSNBC who worked there for 15 years says the fallout has created a very tense situation with some feeling they have been stabbed in the back. It was such a stupid thing to do. They have bent the knee to ensure not being targeted by Trump and the whole MAGA world. No, that does nothing for them. They're still awful people. MSNBC trumpets itself as a progressive media brand and is historically left-leaning. While some MSNBC staffers fully understand it would have been short-sighted to reject the invitation to a behind-closed-doors meeting with Trump, others fear it shows signs of weakness. Brzezinski, who recently announced her decision to leave X to avoid being a target on the platform now owned by Elon Musk, a newly ally of Trump, expressed her disagreement. Joe and I realized it's time to do something different. And that starts with not only talking about Donald Trump, but also talking with him. The way I look at it is people are really scared. That's one of the reasons we went in there. Yeah, people are really scared. You're scared. Rachel Maddow's probably terrified, and there's nothing she can do about it. Following his comprehensive election victory, MSNBC warned people of Trump's leadership style. Host Katie Phang posted on social media that normalizing Trump is a bad idea. There has been a massive change of dynamic since the election, and the mindset is that the bad numbers won't change. They won't go back up unless we do soft journalism and not push too much to criticize Trump's administration, added the veteran MSNBC journalist. The CNN report claimed that MSNBC bosses had no problem with the Morning Joe host's trip to meet with Trump. But our source says some of the network are ishing their pants at the prospect of bowing to authority. Most of us don't want to be.
Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski visited with Trump because of credible fear of retribution. That's a flat-out lie. Tim said it was an unnecessary word. I say it's a flat-out lie. What's credible? Did Trump say to them or someone from his team, we're coming after you? No. Their fear is because of their behavior and their action. They're liars. They've smeared the man for I don't know how long and flat out lied about him. If their consciences were clean, they wouldn't have anything to fear. None of the left does. If your conscience is clean, you've done your job, you've told the truth to the best of your ability, you have nothing to fear. If you've broken the law or committed a crime, I'd be fearful too, especially. And the fear is only heightened because of the Democrat Party's actions. Had you not attacked Donald Trump in every manner that you have, you wouldn't have to worry about quote unquote retribution because there would be nothing to get back at you about. I don't think Trump should be petty about, I always hope that the right can be above the left with this lawfare stuff. However, if crimes have been committed and there's evidence to suggest that they have, then those situations need to be investigated. I think that's very fair. And no matter what happens, no matter how fair the Trump administration is, anyone that they go after, they will paint it as retribution. And to not go after anybody that has broken the law would just be a very weak move by Trump. So no matter what he does, what am I telling you? This is how it's always been. No matter what he does in this situation or anything else, he won't be able to win with these people. Oh, and I also love how Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski in that article he read said that the leadership of the network had no problem with them accepting the invite to visit Trump at Mar-a-Lago. My understanding is there was no invite. There might have been an invite after they went groveling to Trump, like, can we talk? But I think Trump tweeted something out afterwards, like saying something to the effect of, this meeting was not what they're painting it to be, like they wanted to come here and I talked to them basically. I think I've said this before, but Joe and Mika were treating it like they were heads of state meeting with Donald Trump to solve all the world's problems, but behind closed doors, Trump was just like, can you believe these two? It probably gave everyone his administration a good laugh. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Be a part of that. Some are thinking about trying to join other media organizations where we can do our job with respect and values to bring truth to the table without being pressured by the people in power. Yeah, y'all lie all the time. That's like literally all you do. So, sure. They're going to say blah, blah, blah. It was recently revealed that Maddow, 51, will take a $5 million pay cut from her $30 million a year salary. I got to be honest, guys. I got to be honest with you about that money. I have no idea what she does with that money, okay? I want to stress this to you. I have no idea. Now, don't get me wrong. There's wealth managers and there's trust and there's things you can do with money to that degree. But look, let me just say, this lady is evil, okay? I think Rachel Maddow is deeply, deeply evil. I believe that many of these people, I'm an economic lefty. I'm sorry, like not like communist or anything, but I will agree with Steve Bannon on this one when he says tax the rich. Yeah, like that's what me and Bannon have in common. Well, we have a lot of things in common. Like we agree on a lot of things, but I agree with them largely in that direction. I should say largely. I don't completely, but I'm gonna tell you this.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
I don't necessarily think you should tax them because tax is improperly spent, but I do think that many of these people are psychotic. I really do. Okay, let me tell you. We run this here company over at Timcast, and we make lots and lots of monies, okay? And I pay myself off of what the morning show makes, and Timcast and your memberships go to funding the show because the show is the goal. And so I look at these things like, I agree with Keith Olbermann. She's lost her principals for $25 million. I got to stress this one more time. I don't know what you even do with that much money per year. She's pulling in $2 million a month. $2 million. And she's got to give, I think she's got to give about $600,000 per month to the federal government. Probably a little bit more than that. She probably takes home a clean 1.25, 1.3 per month. I honestly don't know what you do with that money. Okay, I'm going to stress this again. I look at our finances. I look at this money.
With this piece of information, things add up very nicely. Now I get it. Keith Olbermann, an evil human being, is Rachel Maddow's mentor, another evil human being. It makes perfect sense. I don't understand. Maybe I need to read more on this on my own sometime. I don't understand why he's saying that she lost her principals for a $25 million salary. She works for like craziest progressive mainstream news organization. Isn't that aligned with her principles? I guess I need to read this article. I don't know why he'd be upset at her about that. But make no mistake, when I call these people evil, I don't throw that word around lightly. I believe that absolutely the right wing has tons of problems too, and politics in general is a mess. But unfortunately, you have to pick a side the way things are set up right now. And make no mistake, this is a battle between right and wrong, good and evil. I sleep very well at night knowing which side I'm on and what my values are. The reason all these people are nervous is because they know what their lack of values are, and probably deep down inside, they know what side they're on. But we want to hear from you. What do you all think about this infighting at MSNBC and what Tim Pool had to say about the quote-unquote Civil War? Let us know. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.